Live from the universe, welcome to Spiritual Awakening with Dr. Aaron. It's time to claim your birthright of prosperity, vitality, and love. So grab your tea or coffee because together we're awakening the world. May you live your truth. My mom said the very first day I came home from school, I walked in the front door because we came home on a school bus. And I said, "Mom, how old do you have to be to quit school?" She rolled her eyes and went, "Oh no." And the moral of the story was this: school never made sense to me. Learning geography when I hadn't quite understood my own mind and what really mattered to me made no sense whatsoever. So today I want to break down a very important thing to master in your life, which is emotional mastery. And one thing I truly believe is that our children and we deserve to have total freedom of mind. And we understand that freedom only begins within. So today, if you're ready to master your emotions for emotional mastery, you definitely want to listen to this podcast. In fact, if I were you, I would definitely invite a few of your friends to listen to it with you so that you can master your emotions together. So welcome to the Dr. Aaron podcast. We come together to know the truth, live on spiritual principle, and align with universal law. We truly believe and know that when somebody awakens, they always have a gift and message to bring to the world. And together, we're awakening the world. So I'm Dr. Aaron, Doctor of Divinity, founder of New Thought Global and Society. I am an international bestselling author. I'm the 2020 Walden Wisdom Award next to Oprah Winfrey and creator of E4 Trauma Method. But mostly, I am somebody who's obsessed with consciousness. I'm obsessed with spirituality. I'm obsessed with how we create, how we manifest. And I love developing spiritual entrepreneurs. And I love having just a straight spiritual community. So I want you to know that if you've been listening to this podcast or if you've been thinking about referring it to anyone, we absolutely are going to be creating a community that is just spiritually based, that is not the business side of things as well. So we want you to know that we want you in our family. We want you in our tribe, and we're committed to bringing truth to everyone's life, no matter where they're at. So let's break this on down. So today's podcast is emotional mastery. I think probably the most important thing to understand how we are creating our emotions. So let's do this thing. So in order to master your emotions and have emotional mastery, first we have to understand how we are creating our emotions. And I truly believe that our culture has really gone astray, if you will, meaning that we're trying to always only have certain types of emotions. And we have to understand that emotions are one of the most beautiful things because they are the intelligence of spirit working through this conduit, this thing called a body, which is almost like a computer. So we're going to break this on down in a very simple way and more complex way so that today you can really understand how you are creating your emotions, how you've always created your emotions, and how you always will create your emotions, and understanding the steps of what it really is going to take for you to master your emotions, what work you really need to do, what disciplines you really need to put into your life, and how your emotions are working for you and not against you, and how to use your emotions to transmute and catapult yourself into a life beyond your wildest dreams. So let's break this on down. So as somebody who's a doctor of divinity, teaching universal law, teaching metaphysics, teaching how you're the creator that is creating through this binary energetic field, because you are source that created this entire universe. I recognize right now, right here, why would we care about mastering our emotions? Well, I definitely have spent very many times in my life at the effect of my emotions. And as many of you guys know, I was a big codependent. I was in a terrible relationship with a pretty famous rock star. And I remember not wanting to live. I remember laying in my bed, and I would never have committed suicide because I have a son and I just don't think there's anywhere to go. But I remember laying in my bed, and I remember literally staring up at the ceiling, and my whole body, I was so upset because we had, broken up again. He had gone off and done drugs, ended up in a hotel with some other woman, things like that. Right. And I remember just being so uncomfortable in my body. It was like my entire body was a big emotional mess. I felt it at every cell. My body was literally felt like dis-ease was beginning in my body. And I remember in that exact moment thinking, I've got to change my life. And the only thing that it's going to take is I've got to figure out how to come to peace within, no matter what happens out there, right? So today, it doesn't matter if you are, really extreme in your emotions. Maybe you're dealing with sadness or loneliness, or, if you're dealing with depression, please get help. Maybe you're dealing with an addiction, or maybe just stuck patterns. Again, if you're dealing with addiction, please get some support, professional support. Maybe, and like all humans, you've dealt with traumas over the course of your life, and maybe you just can't figure out why you're not able to sustain in being happy in your life. No matter what's going on in your emotions, I want you to first understand that it's okay, that whatever you're going through right now, it's a blessing in disguise, because this is your spirit, your higher self demanding you to wake up, right? So this is the breakdown for the breakthrough. So right here, right now, let's break on down what are emotions? How do we create our emotions, right? So we teach basically that you are a spiritual being and that you are the I am, you are pure potential. However, the moment that you consider yourself to be anything other than the I am, you have an identity, an ego, if you will. Thomas Trode was a master of teaching this. The self-contemplation of the self actually sets the motion of the entire universe into motion, polarity. So it all comes from identity. Identity creates belief. Belief creates thought. Thought creates feeling, and feeling creates, your emotions, and your emotions create the circumstances of your life. So we have to understand, first of all, that's how you are creating your emotions. So let's break it down even further. The moment that something occurs or doesn't occur, right? Something happens, something, someone doesn't show up for an appointment, you get in an argument with your boyfriend, you didn't, make enough money this month, you're getting stressed out about paying your bills, whatever it is, you've put a meaning around it, right? You've placed a negative or positive meaning around something. And in the moment that you create and put a meaning, a positive or negative meaning, you instantly have a positive or negative experience. An emotion, right? An emotion obviously is an extreme, expression of a feeling. So you could say you have a feeling, right? Or maybe you have an emotion. Emotion is outside of, it's an expressive, it's the effect, right? The thought and the feeling begin within, and then it translates into external if it goes extreme into an emotion, right? So we want to break down the creative process. So, you might be like, well, I don't know why. I mean, I'm not choosing to be sad, but I'm just sad, right? So we have to break on down the subconscious and the soul. So you're a creative being and your pure consciousness, right? You can consciously say, wow, I mean, I could choose to be sad, or I could not choose to be sad, but then there's something in me that won't allow me to be happy. What is that part of us that we feel like we don't have control over, right? Why do I feel like I don't have control over my emotions? And even if I know I'm, creating my emotions, it's going to be awful, because now I know I'm creating them, but I can't change them. Well, that's because in the creative process, what happens is your soul or your subconscious mind is the memory, right? Your soul and your subconscious mind is this automated system that plays out that we call the subconscious or subjective mind, or the creative medium. It's why we don't have to beat the heart every time. It's why we just have reactions in life or triggers in relationship, because it's this automated system, and it keeps track of everything that's been created in our lives. And so what happens in the soul, in the subconscious mind, there's a few metaphors we use, right? One is that, imagine that there's a farmer, like you're the farmer, and you're putting the seed, like I'm going to put the seed, if I want to manifest, love and relationship. I want to manifest, making money and having a beautiful career. I want to manifest, vitality and health and creative expression. But then something isn't working. It doesn't come out that way. You don't end up manifesting that thing. And it's because the soil has weeds in it, right? The soil kills off any seed that you put in it because there's a bunch of weeds there, right? Another metaphor is a stained glass window, which one of our practitioners came up with, which I love, is Lindsay, which is the stained glass window, right? I'm sure other people have used the same metaphor, but I love our community, and I love all of our metaphors that people have come up with. So imagine the sunlight is coming through that stained glass window and it's white, right? Light is just pure white. But then it comes through the stained glass window, it has all different colors. And then it comes through the other side of the stained glass windows and has all different colors to it. So it may have had the intention of coming as white light, but then it comes to all different colors. And that's the same with your life. You may have the intention of creating something, but then your subconscious mind is going to display it completely different. Right. Another one that Hillary, one of our practitioners, also came up with is a water, a faucet. And oftentimes in your faucet, you are putting water out, but there, there's granules that come sometimes at the water spout and it stops the flow of the water. And it's kind of all those little pebbles and all those little things are all of our limited beliefs and all of our past traumas and all those things that are stopping the flow of our pure creation. And so sometimes in your emotions, you're like, well, why am I feeling this way? I mean, I can't even control it, right? That's not me creating it. It's like, I'm just reacting. No, they did something. My boyfriend, he made me mad. He cheated, right? Or, the economy changed, or I'm in lockdown, or whatever it may be. That's not me creating my emotions. This happened out here. No matter what happens out there, that's called perspective, right? And how one person interprets it and another person interprets it is going to be unique for each individual. We call it the relative truth. And also subconsciously, one person may have total phobias because of past traumas about being locked down versus another person's like, I love being locked down. I finally get to be alone, right? So it's all perspective. So the point is back to the creative factor. How are you creating your emotions? You're creating your emotions by your subconscious mind, right? You can consciously choose to create emotions, but most people aren't that advanced, right? Most people don't even realize that they're creating their emotions. But we have to understand the subconscious mind is what's creating a lot of the emotions because it's an automated system based out of the traumas that you've had in the past, based out of the limited beliefs, based out of the limited identity. And that is what projecting out into these reactions or into this automated sadness that you have no control over, right? So we want to break this down further and understand that you are a creator. You're a master creator. And in order to become somebody who's going to be the cause of your life, someone who's able to actually create your emotions and use your emotions, right? We have to first understand how you created the emotions that you've had. So we understand in trauma, right? Trauma is something that doesn't happen to you. Trauma is something that happens within you. Again, it's relative for each person, it's perspective. So let's just take for a minute how you created trauma as well. I know it's a big thing, and I know people don't want to take that on, but you created your own trauma as well, right? Because the trauma is emotions and it's playing out in your emotions. So trauma is really something that happened or didn't happen, whether it's something extreme like you got raped or whether, your boyfriend didn't show up for Valentine's Day. Something happened or something did not happen. And the meaning that you put on it and the significance that you put on it began to create emotions. And during trauma, typically it's big negative emotions, which is frequency and vibration. And that frequency and vibration is what informs the subconscious mind. It's like little soldiers down your subconscious mind, and you're the lieutenant in charge. And you are saying, create emotions, and it's creating emotions. And then during that traumatic incident, you decide something. I'll never love again. I don't want to live. Something's wrong with me. I'm not enough. And the little soldiers down there just say, and so it is. And so then these emotions are constantly being played out, and new characters come into your life to make sure that you're playing out the drama. But the reality is you created it. And as hard as that is, it's also equally as liberating. And I care about you. I really care about you. And I care about my soul family. I care about you. And I care about you so much that I'm willing to tell you the hard truth. And as they say, truth is really hard at first, but then it gets easier and easier. Lies are easy at first, but then they get harder and harder. So in order to have full emotional mastery, you have to realize that you are the creator of your emotions. And in that, taking responsibility for them. And in that, going and doing your trauma work to release those limited beliefs and those triggers and those negative charges and the commands that happen during the trauma. So in that, let's just break this on down even more. Emotional mastery. Emotions are the expressions of our value systems being met or not met. They're the effect of us believing that something we value is arriving, departing, or present. So let's take a look at this. So emotions, let's take a look at fear. Okay, fear is the emotion of the belief that something we value might go away. Oh my God, my life. Oh my God, my arm. The tiger's coming to bite your arm, right? Oh my gosh, there's flames. It's fire. I'm afraid I'm going to burn, right? It's fear. It's the emotion of fear, of belief that something we value might go away. Grief. Let's talk about grief, right? Grief is the emotion of grief is the belief that something we value, something or someone we value is gone, right? The truth is that everyone's immortal. We're eternal, but we don't know that's why truth sets you free, right? Because if you knew the truth and you really understood it, you wouldn't necessarily have grief when someone transitioned. Not that it's bad. Grief is a beautiful thing. And we know that there's emotions, which we're going to talk about after, is all these emotions are good. And I'm going to show you how to have emotional intelligence, not just become a robot and not having emotions, but understand them, to use them instead of being used by them. Okay. So we're going to break this down right after we break down all these different types of emotions. Okay. So these aren't bad. It's not like something's wrong with you if you have the emotions. It's that we're going to use the emotions, and I'm going to teach you how to do that. Okay. So fear is a belief that something we value might go away, right? Grief is the emotion or the belief, sorry, that something we value or someone we value is gone. Apathy, right? Not caring, right? Apathy is like, I'm like hopeless. I'm just like numb. Apathy, right? Apathy is an emotion of apathy is a belief that nothing is valuable. Trust me, I know that one, right? It's like worse. It's better to be like mad and frustrated than it is apathetic. It's like, oh, just who cares? Nothing matters, right? Frustration. What is frustration? The emotion of frustration is the belief that someone or something is getting in the way of what we value. Something or someone is getting in the way we value. Man, I'm frustrated. I can't do this. This technology is in my way, right? Man, I'm just so frustrated. I don't have enough money to go do whatever it is that I want to do today, right? That's frustration. Emotions are the effect of the meaning we place on people, places, and things. The truth is that you're not your emotions, you're the creator of your emotions. Truth is, to the extent to which we assign someone else responsible for our emotions is the extent to which we're experiencing feeling disempowered. Until we're able to witness another human being without judgment, we will never be able to see anyone. Okay. So the truth is this: emotions are spirit demanding us to not place power outside of thyself. We will always be emotional roller coasters as long as we place our power and want things to be a certain way. We have failed expectations. We want things to happen the way we want. That's called control. We're in divine will. We're in God's will. God's will is your will. God's will is your will, the will that is within, that's the creator of your emotions, right? Not looking to the world to be the effect of what's happening or not happening. And so to have true emotional mastery is to use our emotions. So within our community and in our programs, we teach emotional mastery. It's one of our core principles of understanding how you are creating everything. And in that, we do the trauma work, we do the E4 trauma work, we do all that clearing out of those automated triggers, and we birth our truth out of that. E4 trauma method, one of the big distinctions of it is it's not just about neutralizing or not getting triggered. It's actually using and knowing that whatever trauma you went through is actually birthing your mission, your calling here on the planet. Not even if you want to make money out of it, just you have a mission as a person. You don't have to make it a career, and another thing we do is teaching how to transmute the emotions. So I used to be someone that I hated emotions. First of all, I was afraid to have emotions because as a woman, I was afraid I'd be called crazy if I had emotions, right? Secondly, whenever I had emotions, I resisted them all the time and made myself wrong and judged myself for having emotions, right? And thirdly, I just didn't know how to use my emotions. So inside of our programs, we actually teach how to have, there's certain processes we use to use the emotion to fully get with what's going on and transmute. We call it upset worksheet and a bunch of things. And we use it to use the emotions to really birth our truth out of that. So anytime you're emotional, it's actually teaching you something. So I used to be afraid of when I had emotions, or I thought it was bad when I had emotions. And now I'm like, yes, I'm having some negative feeling. or I'm having, frustration, or I'm having, fear, or I'm having whatever it is. It's like, yes. So I get in and I go do a process, and I always on the backside of that process, I have a new truth. I have a new perspective. I have a new inspired action that comes out of that emotion. So I don't get used by emotions. I use my emotions. They're my higher self guiding me to realign to my truth. And they're furthering my purpose, my soul's calling here on the planet. So in this, I say yes to you. I say yes to you having freedom, to having total liberation, to the truth of who you are, to you remembering that you are the creator. You are a powerful creator. May you create incredible emotions that transform your life, that transform other lives, that catapult you into living a life beyond your wildest dreams. And so in this, I invite you. I invite you to come into our community and master your emotions, to truly, truly begin to say, you know what? I've had enough. I've had enough of stuck patterns. I've had enough of feeling lonely. I've had enough of being frustrated. I've had enough of being upset in a relationship. I've had enough of feeling like I'm the effect of money and the world and everything, right? You deserve to have total liberation. That is your birthright. That is your divine birthright. And so in this, I invite you to come to newthoughtglobal.com, DM me on social media, get involved. There are programs we have that are not business, and we have programs that are business. And in fact, tomorrow on Monday, we are starting a live 5-day challenge. And I invite you to come in. Yes, we will be talking about birthing your soul's message and mission. Yes, we'll be talking about how to monetize your spiritual gifts, but we also are going to be doing a Fur to Mind treatment. We're also going to be teaching universal law. We're also going to be teaching how this is all in alignment with who you are. It's natural to have a flow of all of it, including the exchange of currency, including the exchange of love, including the exchange of beautiful, beautiful emotions all together. So I invite you to come over there, newthoughtglobal.com. Come and meet your besties, meet me, engage. Also on Wednesdays, I have a breakthrough session where we really serve and get clear of who you are, where you're at in your mindset and skill set. We don't do high pressure sales. We literally just connect and serve. And if it makes sense to come together in community and programs, and so be it. Okay. But the truth is this: you are already a master of emotions. You already have been. You just put the veil around and pretend that you haven't. The truth is, at the core of who you are, you know who you are. You know the master creator you are. And I am committed to helping you have emotional mastery. So I simply know this. Have a beautiful, blessed day. Please like, share, and comment on this. Please share it with a friend who you know needs to master their emotions. This is one of the most important conversations we can have. And if you're somebody who's on a mission to bring this to young children in elementary school, please show up, because the world needs you. Okay. Have a beautiful, blessed day, and may you live your truth. Thank you for tuning into the Dr. Erin podcast. If you've had a spiritual calling or desire to get certified as a spiritual coach or a world-renowned spiritual leader, go to newthoughtglobal.com. If you've received value from this show, I would love it if you share it with a friend and give it a 5-star review. Also, we have spiritual practitioners that are trained to deliver the E4 trauma method and assist you in birthing your truth. So let's be friends on social media. Again, my handle is draaron.tv across all social media. Have a beautiful day, and may you live your truth.